All right, friends, welcome back to the 2014 U14 Boys and Girls Atlantic Soccer Championships right here from the UPEI turf on the Terry Fox Complex at the University of Prince Edward Island. On Bell Alliant Community 1, our second game of day 4. Getting ready for Championship Sunday. One more consolation game. This is third versus fourth action in the boys bracket. Team PEI versus Team Newfoundland Labrador. A rematch of opening day when PEI defeated Newfoundland Labrador 2-1. And two teams that, ironic that they're both here. We thought going into day 3 yesterday morning, we all thought that one of these two teams would be here, but they'd be playing New Brunswick. These were the two teams that yesterday morning, on the cusp of Tropical Storm Arthur, we were talking about battling for placement in the gold medal game. And PEI, all PEI had to do was tie to get in against New Brunswick. They could not. Lost to New Brunswick 3-1. Newfoundland lost to Nova Scotia 3-1. As action starts here, we'll talk about how that Saturday played out as the match goes on. But all Nova Scotia, or all Newfoundland Labrador had to do, as it turns out, is not lose by 2 goals yesterday. If they had just kept it within a goal, they would be playing in the gold medal game. All PEI had to do was tie New Brunswick, and they would be playing in the gold medal game. Couldn't do it. After it all played out, they did the first tiebreaker was goals for, goals against in the round-robin tournament. And Newfoundland Labrador and New Brunswick were tied with 5 goals for, 6 against. The second tiebreaker was penalty kicks. So they brought the teams here at 12:30 yesterday afternoon in the middle of the storm, with the winds gusting to nearly 100 kilometers an hour. And New Brunswick defeated Newfoundland Labrador 5-4 in penalty kicks to earn the right to play in the gold medal game. So we have these two teams here that both missed out painfully and dearly on outstanding chances to be in the gold medal game. But now here in this matchup in the third versus fourth. There's Thomas Casey and Leclerc on the near side, too far for Thomas Ford. And heartbreaking again for both teams. The host team, PEI and Newfoundland Labrador, they won the gold medal when these teams played last year in Corner Brook at the U13s. No luck for Logan Strickland. Here's a throw-in for Grant McAdam. McAdam down the near sideline. But we should have a good one. A lot of times in these third versus fourth matchups, the teams really cut loose. There's no more anxiety about placement, about trying to get into the gold medal, about playing conservative soccer. A lot of times these consolation games can have a lot more creativity and flair than the championship games. Tanton will line up a corner. Game time temperatures, it's warmed up a little bit since this morning. We've been here since 8 a.m. We just finished up with PEI and New Brunswick girls. PEI defeating New Brunswick 1-0. Nice job here. Dylan Crichton comes up. Crichton in net for Newfoundland Labrador, and Trevor Whalen in net for PEI. But again, we started the day with temperatures around 12 degrees with an actual wind chill that made it feel like 10. And probably getting up into the mid-teens now. The sun peeks its head out here every few minutes to add a little warmth. And we still have a little bit of remnants of Tropical Storm Arthur, with some winds gusting around the mid-30s and blowing left to right on your screen. Jacob Grant over on the far side. Here's Hennebury. Hennebury, he was the unlucky one yesterday in those penalty kicks. Of the 10 players, he was the only one who missed. 5-4. All 5. How often did you see that? All 5 New Brunswick shooters converted. That was a New Brunswick team that, when we last saw them against Nova Scotia, were losing 3-1 in complete disarray. Or to Newfoundland, actually. They were losing to Newfoundland 3-1. 2 red cards in the second half, kind of a meltdown of sorts. No one had them pegged for the gold medal game. But they got in there with the 3-1 win over PEI and then the 5-4 victory in penalty kicks over Newfoundland Labrador. But talked about it throughout the weekend, the balance across these 4 teams, incredible. And that's why you had such tight scenarios yesterday. All 4 teams very balanced. Nova Scotia has played very well. They've outscored their competition 9-2. But even at times, they have looked vulnerable. And that could be a sleeping giant awaken, that New Brunswick team. Those first 2 games, we knew they had a lot of talent. It's just a matter of whether or not they could put it together. And they may go into that game today with a lot of confidence against Nova Scotia. Here comes your corner, headed away. On the far side, Harry Carter. Graham McAdam can't get it back in. Cleared away by Hennebury. On the far side, there's Grenham. Grenham sprinting hard, coming over to help is Ryan Lowry. Santuccioni out there with Grenham. That'll be a throw-in or a free kick coming up for PEI. Far side, Jake McCallum. Harry Carter. There's Andrew Sharp, gets the start. Jacob Craig on the near side looking for Logan Strickland. Strickland. Brokenshire wants it, gets it on the near sideline. Nicely done by Brokenshire. Grenham steps in, but kicked out of bounds by John Alex Voss. And a corner coming up for Newfoundland Labrador. So Jonathan Quirk will come in and take it. 2 teams trying to gather themselves after a heartbreaking Saturday. Finish the tournament on a strong note. Headed away. Brokenshire. Flying in there was Meisner. Near side, Quirk. Ford comes over. Quirk takes it away from Ford as he hits the pitch. Give and go. Quirk was going to give up on it, but now he has it on the near side. Strickland. And there was Mateo Leclerc. Strickland against Leclerc. Goes through the legs of Leclerc. Grenham back to Strickland. And lots of dancing going on in the 18-yard box for Newfoundland Labrador, but not a lot of finished product so far. Corner coming up. Hennebury gets in there. Here's a corner from Quirk. Well struck. Flying in is Grenham and just missing. Well, Grenham got a foot on it, but no luck. Trevor Whalen will line up a goal kick. In our 10th minute, contact information on the screen. communityonesports@gmail.com. And B. McLean Sports on Twitter. far side. And it'll go back to PEI. So the wind's still causing a little chaos out there. Not nearly as bad as it was yesterday. Michelle Puttycombe reaching out. Thank you, Michelle. Our first email. Cheering up the Newfoundland boys team. Far side, Grant trying to navigate his way. He will. Near side. Santuccioni couldn't get past Ryan Lowry. And a free kick coming up for Lowry. Across midfield off the head of Grant. Onto the foot of Chris Neal. Harry Carter. Logan Strickland. Strickland out in front. Trying to get an angle. And nice recovery there. Grant McAdam got back. Strickland couldn't quite get comfortable as he approached the penalty area. Got to the apex of the 6-yard box, but just couldn't get his feet straightened around. And that allowed Grant McAdam to get back and get it out of bounds, but another corner coming up for Jonathan Quirk. To the outside of the 18-yard box. A little bicycle kick by Grenham that goes well wide. Goal kick coming up here for Whalen. In our 13th minute, 2:35-minute halves. Off the head of Grant. Over by Ford. Strickland. And a battle there with Thomas Casey. Back to Grant McAdam. Tried to go down that near sideline looking for Ford. No luck. Brokenshire was there. Brokenshire still in bounds. PEI thought he was out. Harry Carter. The near side just can't quite get it to Grenham. Cleared away by Ryan Lowry. Our second year, talked to the Carter family yesterday on the email. Our second year doing these teams. We had them last year in Corner Brook at the U14. We were there, and one of the favorite things with the Newfoundland team, every time Harry Carter comes near the ball, all of a sudden you hear 5 or 6 guys yell, "Harry!" One of the prevailing themes throughout the weekend when you have these Newfoundland Labrador teams, or this one anyways. Everybody yelling, "Harry!" As soon as Harry gets the ball on his foot. Jonathan Quirk. Andrew Sharp on the far side. Jacob Grant. Nicely brought in by Chris Neal. Newfoundland has carried the pace so far. They've been building. Once again, Logan Strickland. Brokenshire is in behind him, calling for it. He'll go to Brokenshire. Brokenshire gets around McAdam. A cross that doesn't get through Thomas Casey. Right in front of Thomas Ford. Ford will clear the near sideline for a throw-in. Throw in for Strickland, watched by Ford. And a little confusion with Brokenshire. Still in. Strickland trying to get in a cross, watched by two PEI players, finally taken away by Ford. Goes off the head of Casey. Hannabury off the top of his head. On the chase is Meisner. Quirk down the near sideline. Once again, here's Ford. And Ford trying to get to Casey. Will. Right in front of your camera here, Casey against Chris Neal. That'll be a foul on Chris Neal. The sun comes out. Adds a little warmth here to the pitch. An unseasonably cool day following Tropical Storm Arthur. Ball down the far sideline. There's Sharp. Harry Carter leaves it for Jacob Grant. Grant trying to get a step on LeClaire. Sharp again, or Santuccioni, sorry. Santuccioni. What's the call here? That'll be a goal kick as Lowry was over there defending. So B McLean Sports on Twitter, community1sports@gmail.com. Championship Sunday is coming up. 12 o'clock, Newfoundland Labrador versus Nova Scotia. And then at 2 o'clock to finish off the weekend in the boys bracket, New Brunswick versus Nova Scotia. Neal. Harry Carter. Strickland. And nice step in there by Grant McAdam. A great chance for Grenham. Spun and fired. Didn't get all of it. And Whalen makes the save. Under the foot of Neal. Hannabury couldn't control off the bounce. Takes a wicked hop. Quirk was there. Hannabury swings and misses. And now Hannabury with it. Across midfield. Grenham. Nicely done. Carter on a sprint. Whalen trying to get out. Getting there first is John Alex Voss. Goes through the feet of Carter with Whalen on a pounded net. That was dangerous. They make it work. The 18-yard box. Strickland doesn't get all of it. Thomas Ford over his head. Brokenshire off the turf. Off the chest of Thomas Casey, trying to settle it down. Chris Neal catches up with him. Casey soldiers on across midfield. Over the leg of Carter. Jacob Grant at midfield. Mateo Leclerc gets past Grant into open space on the far side. Meisner can't get turned around. Quirk, another good ball for Strickland. Strickland's had outstanding service here in this half. Once again, Lowry gets over there. Knocks it abound on the near side. I'm going to throw in for Brokenshire. In our 20th minute. Brokenshire. Grenham misses. Santuccioni trying to get to his right foot. Does. And a shot that goes over the crossbar for Santuccioni. Goal kick coming up for Whalen. To midfield. And now a free kick coming up for PEI on a foul. Back up John Alex Voss. comes Voss. Ford off his shoulder. Thomas Casey. Again, Ford now. PEI trying to mount a response. It's been mostly Newfoundland here so far. Tanton. Over the head of McDougall, and he pushed off there. On Andrew Sharp. Here's Crichton. Santuccioni back to Sharp. A bit of a miss hit there for Sharp, taking over as Meisner. No luck hooking up with Thomas Ford. And good boot by Crichton to the far side. Looking for Santuccioni. Elevates, but can't keep it in on the far side. Nicely done, Grenham, but nobody home on the pass. A little bit too far ahead of Carter, and then McCallum couldn't control it on the far side. A throw in for Sharp. Off the head of McCallum. Chris Neal. Grenham. Goes off the backside of Voss. Lowry clears. Batar on the field now as well for PEI. So Simon Batar is out there. Leclerc, McCallum, Thomas Ford. Near side for Casey. Grant McAdam gets there first. McAdam taken away by Strickland. And on the far side for Tanton. All the way through, picked up by Dylan Crichton. He'll lead Andrew Sharp on the far side. Sharp, Santuccioni. Lowry boots it away. And that actually stayed in play and goes off Andrew Sharp. So a throw in for PEI. Ford. Casey. Went under his foot. Strickland tried to get it to Brokenshire. A little soft with the pass. And Brokenshire contact there with Casey. A throw in coming up for Newfoundland Labrador. Brokenshire shake that one off. They'll walk it off. Jacob Grant. Brokenshire. Hannabury gets past him. Meisner with the left foot. A shot right on, and no problem for Crichton. So Meisner unloads one just outside the 18-yard box. Here's Harry Carter. Nicely done for Grenham. Grenham, Strickland, and again, Grant McAdam. McAdam has done well dealing with Strickland on that left flank. There's Strickland again. Jacob Grant. And near side, Santuccioni. Or Sharp, sorry. Grenham. Nobody on the near side. Finally stepping in is Chris Neal. Cleared away by McAdam. Lowry takes contact from Grenham. And PEI players, again, talking to Grenham, he really raised the ire of PEI players on opening day. At one point was given a yellow, and several PEI players told the official it should be a straight red. And again, on that contact play, Mateo Leclerc, as he did on Thursday, letting Grenham know that not appreciative, and also letting the official know that Grenham may be a little too rambunctious. Off the head, Brokenshire. Thomas Ford. Back to McAdam. Grant. LeClaire against Neal. Thomas Ford. Meisner. Kick save and a beauty, to use a hockey analogy, by Crichton. Meisner. We wish he had that one back. What an opportunity that goes begging. Wide open in the 6-yard area. And couldn't put it past Crichton. Crichton stuck the leg out and made the save. So Newfoundland Labrador has had most of the action in the PEI zone. But maybe the two best chances of the game have gone to PEI with Meisner. As we are 26th minute. Near side. Too far for Brokenshire. Broken up by Grant McAdam. John Alex Voss drops right in front of him. Gets up with his head over the top of Neal. Batar. Too far. But here's Thomas Ford. Can't get it past Hannabury. Hannabury. And for a throw-in for PEI. Again, the wind is still blowing briskly. More so as winds are swirling, but kind of left to right, if you will, and across the field from your camera. No luck coming free for Thomas Casey. Neal is there. Another throw-in. In our 28th minute. Emails coming in. Meisner missing out. LeClaire off to the far side. There's Sharp. And that'll go to bounds. This is the Santuccioni family. Great to hear from you guys. Watching from the cabin in Newfoundland, Labrador. Guys, having a great weekend. Kelly, Dino, Zach, Julia, and Chloe. That's Kelly, Dino, Zach, Julia, and Chloe. From a cabin there, in in Newfoundland. Thanks very much for reaching out, and thank you for those kind words. My second year of doing this group was in Corner Brook last year for the U13, so I'd gotten used to the Santuccioni name. Still had a bit of a rough time on Thursday getting off to a good start with it, but I got it down as the weekend has gone on. So glad you guys are enjoying there at the cabin. Getting ready for a great day in Newfoundland, Labrador. Not sure if you guys have Arthur coming or not. PEI, Ford. I couldn't get it to Meisner. And offside's the call. Crichton over the far side, over the head of Grenham. Tanton. Grant again. Here comes Jacob Grant. Gets past Tanton. Gets past LeClaire. And a nice job over there. Again, that defense for PEI has been tough. A lot of build-up for Newfoundland Labrador. But once they get into the 18-yard box, that back line of Voss and Lowry and McAdam and Tanton has been steady. McCallum over the head of Neal. Ford. On the chase is Casey. He won't get there. Cleared away by Crichton. McAdam. Brokenshire. Just past Strickland. Onto the foot of Harry. Strickland gets it back. Strickland still with it. Santuccioni almost had it. Tanton cleared it away. Grant can't get it past Bitar. Meisner trying to turn. No luck. Hennebury steps in and he'll lead the attack. Hennebury splits a pair of PEI players. Goes to the left of McCallum. Harry Carter. Back to Andrew Sharp. Sharp. Carter. Towards center. Jacob Grant. Switches to Brokenshire. Again, good build-up for PEI. But that bend but don't break defense. Or good build-up by Newfoundland, but the bend but don't break defense of PEI. Meisner gets away with a shove, and now he'll lead the attack. No call. And here comes Meisner into the 18-yard box. Booted away by Quirk. Jacob Grant asking for an explanation. He basically just got, trying to say it politically correct or evenly, but pretty much just got pushed to the ground there at midfield. Meisner wanted it more. Got himself into the 18-yard box. There's Meisner again. He has had great chances. In front, Thomas Ford. Crichton can't pick it up. Finally does. Casey was in there. Ford was in there. And finally, Crichton will scoop it up. Put it away by Crichton. Tanton. Grenham. Santuccioni. Tanton, and that'll be a foul on Grenham. In here. Minute 33. So our 33rd minute, just a couple left. Shouldn't be too much added time. No injuries so far. Leclerc. Andrew Sharp. Lowry all the way through. And scooped up here by Crichton. Apologies again to you PEI fans for yesterday. Again, Arthur swept in and we had to play at two different venues and weren't able to webcast from Cornwall tomorrow or yesterday, so missing out on that game against New Brunswick yesterday. Grenham can't get it to Santuccioni. Taken away by Tanton. Grenham with the left foot, right on and punched away. Still in play here. Finally it does go out. Punched away by Whalen, but we'll have a corner in the waning moments of this half. Patrick Ross cheering on PEI. Thank you very much for the email. Here comes your corner. Pushed out into the 18-yard box. Struck well. Sharp gets up. Santuccioni, I mean. Got up for it. Brokenshire. Quirk over there. McCallum chases out of bounds. What's the call here? Throw in for Newfoundland Labrador. So looks like we're going to finish the half in the PEI end. As we are in minute 35. Cleared away by Sharp. Neal. Great job by Leclerc. Leclerc gets around Grant. Last touch led a little too far. Andrew Sharp does well. Santuccioni. Grant. Does Newfoundland have one more charge? Grant Swings with the left foot, and a free kick coming up for Jacob Grant. So we're going to likely finish the half here with an outstanding chance for Jacob Grant. Set piece, about 25 yards out. One minute of added time. So just 1 minute of added time. Grenham going to take it. About 4 PEI players in the box along with Strickland. 5 now. Grenham. Little pooch kick that just goes over the crossbar for Grenham. Right idea, just couldn't place. As we are in added time. 1 minute shown. Championship Sunday approaching. Newfoundland, Labrador, Nova Scotia in the girls' game at 12. New Brunswick and Nova Scotia at 2. Whalen. McDougall. Leclerc to the far side. Bitar offside is PEI, and that might just do it here for this half. Of course, this group of now under 14s from Newfoundland Labrador, again, they were the champs last year in Corner Brook. As we have halftime, so Nova Scotia with redemption, a little bit of revenge yesterday. They lost last year in Corner Brook. They had the 3-1 win over Newfoundland. That helped contribute to knocking them out of gold medal contention. So Nova Scotia and New Brunswick at 2 o'clock. And in the girls' game, Newfoundland Labrador and Nova Scotia. A rematch of last year's gold medal in Corner Brook. So we're 35 minutes in to our second game of the day. And 0-0 after the first half as the sun is shining bright here at the UPEI turf at the Terry Fox Complex on the campus of beautiful University Prince Edward Island. The 2014 U14 Boys and Girls Atlantic Soccer Championships from Charlottetown on Bell Alliant Community 1, your leader in local sports broadcasting in Atlantic Canada. Reach out to us, B. McLean Sports on Twitter, community1sports@gmail.com. Take a quick break, and we'll be back in about 8 minutes to get you ready for your second half. All right, friends, welcome back. And hello. Good morning to the Brokenshires. All George's family checking in with us from there in Newfoundland. So hello to you guys. The Brokenshires cheering on Team Newfoundland Labrador. Getting ready to start our second half. Still 0-0 here from UPEI Turf. So set your watches, 35 minutes of soccer to come. On the near side, there's newly into the game, Jonathan McKenzie. McKenzie has his first touch, gets it back to Tanton. So we'll try to get your substitutions here. McKenzie, as mentioned. James Richardson into the game. He's on the near side on this left wing. And Truman Wood also. That's Truman with the ball about to throw in. Can't get it to Meisner. The wind has really settled down. I tell you what, we got pretty much ideal soccer conditions right now. For the players anyways. Temperatures about 15, 16 degrees. The wind has kind of settled into a nice, kind of a heavy breeze. And we got nearly ideal conditions for soccer in the wake of Tropical Storm Arthur. Meisner. And on the chase is Sharp. McKenzie. And try to go back and forth, Batar and McKenzie. McKenzie gets knocked down. Here's Sharp on the near sidelines. They keep it in play. Can't get it to Grant. Meisner trying to line up that right foot. Had two great chances in the first half. And a swing by Grant McAdam that goes wide. Backline still the same for PEI with McAdam, Voss, Lowry, and Tanton going right to left. Looks like Richardson and McKenzie, your only two subs in here for PEI. Ben Basha into the game for Newfoundland Labrador. He's on your right flank. There's Harry Carter on the chase. So Basha in for Newfoundland Labrador. Medal presentations coming up after the game. Stick around for that. We'll have the camera right there so you can see all your favorite players get their medal. On the far side. Pursuing over there, Matthew Crew. So Crew into the game as well. Trying to get past LeClaire on the far side. A throw in coming up for Newfoundland Labrador. Hannabury. John Alex Voss will come in and take a kick. Voss on the far sideline. Goes out on the far side, so a throw in for Newfoundland Labrador. Newfoundland Labrador really had most of the action in the PEI zone in that first half, but PEI had several outstanding chances. Grant, a little bit too far. McKenzie looking to respond with Meisner, and it gets all the way back to Crichton. And what's the call here? Meisner and Hannabury got wrapped up there. I think it's going to be a foul on Hannabury. A yellow card assessed to Hannabury. So the official saw something there he really didn't like in that exchange with Meisner and Henneberry. He's shown yellow. And PEI set up here with a free kick just outside the 18-yard box. Trying to get that ball to settle down, and then they'll back up the wall. Crichton gets the wall set up to where he likes it. Batar gets ready to deliver. And they're going to back up that wall again. That wall pretty much now in the 18-yard box. Here comes Batar. Goes for a goal and just wide on the near side. So a goal kick for Crichton. In our 41st minute. To midfield, off the head of a willing Leclerc. Coming flying in on the far side. Getting it back is Matt Crew. Nicely done for Jacob Kennedy. Kennedy into the match as well. And your second half substitutions. Can't get it through to Carter. Off the top of the head of Quirk. Henneberry. Crew. And Leclerc. Taking over for PEI. Batar across midfield. Batar too far for Meisner. Meisner again getting in there. He's been ever willing in pursuit. High into the air. Nice kick by Crichton. All the way to the far side looking for Strickland. Grant comes in. Grant too far for Carter. On the near side, here comes Rideout giving chase. Rideout. And we'll shove there with McKenzie. Rideout the throw-in. Off the head of Kennedy. And I'll go out of bounds. So a throw in for Tanton and PEI. Jacob Grant. High into the air, pushed back by the wind. Batar tried to bring it down. Crew on the far side. Looking for Carter, too far. And all the way through to Trevor Whalen. Scoots over the foot of Batar. And here comes Batar across midfield now. Avoids Grant. McKenzie. Give and go with McKenzie. Trying to get it back to Richardson, no luck. Quirk. He'll boot it out of bounds on the near side, and we'll have a throw in for McKenzie right in front of your camera. Tanton. Over the head looking for Richardson. Nicely done. They get it to Batar. Batar trying to line up a swing. Meisner looking to hit. He'll turn. No luck. Strickland takes it away, and now him and Carter trying to transition. Strickland being chased by McAdam on the far side. Logan doing really well. Now looking to cross. McAdam does catch up. Kennedy. Henneberry, he'll line one up. Right on, no problem for Whalen. A good build-up for Newfoundland Labrador, and they get a decent shot with Henneberry just outside the 18-yard box. Actually, Rideout, sorry. Apologies to the Rideout family. Talked to you guys earlier this week. So Rideout lined one up. And with the far side, a throw in for Matt Crew. Once again, it's Crew. Jacob Grant And his last touch fails him. Taken away by Bitar, but back in at midfield by Sharp. Over here comes Quirk. Quirk a little bit too far for Ben Basha. Tanton. High into the air off the foot of Jacob Grant. Coming down. Lowry got a head on it. There's Rideout. Battling against Meisner. Meisner comes away. Trying to lead. Truman Wood on the far side. Crew gets over there. Strickland. Stepping on that is Leclerc. And that'll be a foul on PEI. On Leclerc. Ball in play. Crew. Carter trying to lead Strickland, but Logan a little flat-footed. Harry Carter passed a little too far out front. There's Hennebury. Rideout. Rideout turns. Knocked away at the last moment by Leclerc. Booted back in by Tanton. Richardson. Off the leg of Quirk. Sharp trying to settle it down. Ben Basha. Basha nicely done to Grant. Tanton catching up. Jacob Grant trying to get a step on the speedy little Tanton. Getting an angle. Coming over to support is Lowry. But that'll be a corner for Newfoundland Labrador. Newfoundland Labrador in their 47th minute. And Newfoundland Labrador with a corner. Championship Sunday coming up in 1 hour. Nova Scotia. Newfoundland Labrador in the women's or the girls' game at noon. Nicely hit by Quirk. Foul on Newfoundland Labrador. Goal kick coming up here. Whalen will take it. He'll go short to Voss. Far side, Truman Wood. Misplayed by Truman on the far side. Grant. Strickland. Near side, Rideout. No luck for Basha. With the charge. Here comes Lowry. Lowry going against Sharp, still with it. Comes to the near side, he'll look to cross. Quirk comes over. Richardson, hands off to Richardson. And Richardson can't navigate the near sideline, so a lot of work there by Lowry to waste. Harry Carter. You hear the shouts of Harry, Harry. Hennebury. Far side looking for Crew. Nicely done by Crew. Still with it is Matthew. Looking strong across midfield. And then nicely done for Strickland. Gorgeous soccer here. If Strickland can catch up, he will. Strickland towards center. One more move. Looking to cross into the 18-yard box. Rideout. Rideout back to his left. Now to his right. Gets a shot off the crossbar and then off the head of Harry Carter. Two brilliant chances. Rideout, beautifully done. Goes off the crossbar. And then it came back and really fast for Harry Carter to respond. And Harry couldn't get the head on it. Actually, offside, I think, was Carter anyways. But off the crossbar for Rideout. That's how close we were to a 1-0 lead for Newfoundland Labrador. our 50th minute. Whalen. LeClaire steps in front of Rideout, gets it to Truman Wood. Grant gets turned with the ball. Chased by Wood. Grant continues on, and then coming over and clearing away is Voss. Henneberry on the far side, couldn't keep it in, and Meisner a throw in. Truman Wood off the legs of Meisner. Crew. Here comes Grant. Grant. Harry Carter. Nice job by Lowry. Gets back up, clears it away. Punched right back in onto the head of Strickland. Strickland against LeClaire. In front of Quirk. Meisner nearly creates the turnover. Sharp responds well and clears. But PEI will transition. Here's Meisner. Henneberry clearance. Carter on the chase, but it'll go all the way to Whalen. This one's starting to look like one goal will win it in our 50th minute. If they are tied at the end of regulation, I do believe they go straight to penalties in consolation play. Voss. That's going to be a foul on Voss as he got into the front there of Basha. Newfoundland Labrador looking to pick up the pace here. Right out again. Grant a little bit too far on the exchange. And stepping is McKenzie. McKenzie for Meisner. Richardson out in front. Pass was lacking velocity and taken away there by Kennedy. Truman Wood, though, on the far side for Grant McAdam. McAdam, no luck. Strickland knifes his way through 2 or 3 PEI players. Kennedy and Grant. Grant nearly had Carter. Goes off the head of Lowry. Sharp. Quirk boots it away. That's going to go all the way to Whalen. Well, Nova Scotia in the distance here, starting to make their way to the pitch. See the stream of blue shirts to our far right. They get ready for Championship Sunday. Into our 52nd minute. It's starting to get a little hotter, too. We're going to have some heat in our afternoon games, maybe. Temperatures expected to get up in the low to mid-20s. Higher with our humidex. And you can start to feel the warmth that we had earlier turn into a little bit of heat. So a nice, gentle, cool breeze as well as we recover from Arthur yesterday. All the way through to Crichton. He'll clear. Of all the Atlantic Canada, usually Charlottetown gets pummeled when we have these storms in the Maritimes. But yesterday, Charlottetown was actually spared the worst. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, very heavily hit. But here in Charlottetown, at least, we had sun throughout the day. But winds getting up in the 90-kilometer area with gusts and a lot of trees down in the downtown Charlottetown area. Power outages for residents in different parts of the city. Tanton. A collision there with Grant. Tanton goes flying right in front of us. He's okay. Strickland in pursuit there against Grant McAdam. And a throw in for PEI. Both teams running out of time to score here in regulation. We've got a 0-0 game in our 55th minute. So 15 minutes of regulation left. No injuries yet. Might not be looking at much for added time. Here's Grant. Grant tried to line one up, but it goes off. McKenzie. Near side. And no luck there. Lowry trying to hook up with McKenzie. He'll have to get back on defense. Andrew Sharp, the quick throw in. Here's Sharp, or Grant. Back to Sharp. Harry Carter. I think it was a handball on Harry Carter. You see the wind blowing again. Down on the field, probably about 25, 30 kilometers an hour. Nicely done by Grant in open space. Through ball for Strickland. Carter. And a defender for PEI was there. Took a lot of contact, but he's okay. That was Lowry. Slow to get up. McKenzie. A collision there with Basha. And that'll be a foul on Basha. Over the head of Quirk. Hannabury. Nicely done by Voss. Far side, Truman Wood. Tough first touch for Truman. That'll go out of bounds. Throw in for Kennedy. Headed forward. Rideout. Rideout had the best chance of the game so far. Hit the crossbar just about 10 minutes ago. Sharp. Harry Carter. Quirk looking for Basha. Basha towards the center of the field. Hannabury looking to switch quickly to Crew. Crew and Kennedy exchange nicely. Can't get it to Strickland on the far side. Now Strickland does have it. McAdam catches up. So Strickland against McAdam. Rideout to his right. Grant. Good ball control here by Newfoundland. Just can't line up a shot. Now they get it through to Crew. Or Kennedy, sorry. Kept in. Gets past Sharp momentarily. Jacob Grant. Grant can't get through Tanton. Rideout! Again, just over the crossbar. Rideout just took a swing about 40 yards out, 35 yards out, and just put it over the crossbar. Well, into our 58th minute. Thomas Casey coming back in. So Casey into the game. Looked like LeClaire who subbed out. Basha against Tanton. Basha gets back up, gets it to Grant. Grant to the right side of the box. And a corner coming up for Newfoundland Labrador. They're going to want to try to line this one up here with Jonathan Quirk. May not be too many chances coming down the stretch of this one as we approach our 60th minute. So here's Quirk to deliver with the right foot, trying to get the ball to settle down in this wind. Quirk. Well struck. Off of Grant. Whalen the save at the goal, on the goal line, and cleared away by PEI. Grant got ahead on it. Whalen punches it away. Quickly into Grant. Chance of Newfoundland. This one, though, would appear destined for penalty kicks. Harry Carter. Ball just will not stay still there, finally. Set up for Whalen. Kind of scooted away on him at the last second. Batar. Here comes McKenzie. Richardson. Quirk steps in. And nobody home on that ball for Newfoundland Labrador. Goal kick coming up. Strickland will run over and get it. This time John Alex Voss rolls away on him. Here's Voss. Low. Batar. Truman Wood. Can't get it to Meisner. Henneberry stepped in. Jacob Grant. Ben Basha. Nicely done nearly by Basha. Couldn't quite get it moving to Grant off the head. Sharp gives chase. McKenzie gets there first. That'll go to PEI. To PEI. In our 63rd minute. Off the head of Grant. Harry Carter. McKenzie pokes it away. McKenzie overruns it. Richardson against Grant. Richardson trying to hold off Grant, and it is a foul on Grant. Coming in to take it will be Lowry. Here's Ryan Lowry. That's through to Richardson. Well done. Hannabury. Batar gets a head on it. Dangerous here. Wood can't quite catch up. And going over there to get it is Crichton. Harry Carter has a chance in a battle with Voss, and Voss shields off Carter. Throw in on the far side. Grant McAdam. A free kick coming up for PEI on their own side of midfield. In our 65th minute. Tanton. Carter can't get to it. Lowry. Offside was Meisner. Here's Quirk. Both fans getting involved here. Recognizing the time, about 5 minutes left in this one. Substitutions await. And a backup Quirk. Goes short to Hannabury. Crew on the far side. Strickland. Harry Carter offside. Substitutions for both teams. Truman Wood out. Thomas Ford in for PEI. Ben Basha out. And Grenham back in for Newfoundland Labrador. So Grenham back in there, as is Thomas Ford. Both teams adding a little scoring punch. As we come down the stretch of a 0-0 game. Right away, Ford active on the far side. Crew or Kennedy can't get it to Carter. Cleared away by McAdam. High into the air. Richardson couldn't get it. Quirk comes in. Kennedy, Strickland, and now Carter and Strickland on the far side. Through to Strickland. Strickland against Voss. And that'll be a corner. Strickland's such a valuable asset for this Newfoundland Labrador team. You don't see at this stage a lot of young guys able to really navigate that left side. But on that left flank, Strickland able to do so well. Strickland again. Crew. Back to Quirk. Kind of a circular approach there. They had players in the box, but this decided to go back to where the ball came from, and no luck. Hitting the deck over there on the far side was Thomas Casey. A throw in for Newfoundland Labrador. Carter. Voss pinches in. Right out. Strickland again on the far side. See if Strickland can get the ball across. Grenham comes in. And that'll be a throw in for Newfoundland Labrador. About 2 minutes left in regulation. Won't be much added time either. And again, I do believe in third versus fourth action, they go straight to penalties. Your corner for Newfoundland Labrador. Well struck. Carter is there. Punched away. And off the top of the net. Whalen. We'll do another corner. We'll see if Quirk can line up another one. I want to get this one out a little bit further away from the 6-yard box. Not much room to navigate that time for Carter. Now again, in tight, bouncing. Flying in is Strickland, cleared away. Back to Matt Crew. And Crew off the outside of his foot. So that opportunity will be left begging. And PEI takes over in our last minute of regulation. Quickly back to Newfoundland with Craig. Pass doesn't get through. McKenzie. Meisner's on the chase. Quirk carefully back across midfield. Off the head of McKenzie. This leads Carter. Carter with Rideout. Can Rideout line one up? He does! But all the way through, no problem for Whalen. So again, Rideout right in that spot he likes. But it rolls all the way through. Easily done to Whalen. Not nearly the velocity Rideout was hoping for. That's a tough play with Grenham and McKenzie. to Newfoundland. Into added time. Sharp. Couldn't get that one through. Quirk pinches. Newfoundland really pressing here. They're opening up a chance for a counter for PEI if they can get the ball across midfield. Craig off the left foot of Batar onto the foot of McKenzie. Here's Grenham again. Grant. Grant knocked down by Casey. And we had a set piece coming up for Newfoundland Labrador. So here's a set piece for Quirk. Actually, Grant will deliver. I wouldn't be surprised to see Grant go for goal here. Wind blowing pretty much straight away from where the ball is placed and a little bit to the left. Only two players in the wall here for PEI. He's going to try to get it into the box. It sits there. A goal. Grenham. Grenham scores. We have a goal in added time, and it's Grenham. Delivered beautifully by Grant. A ricochet, and the ball just sat there on a tee, and Grenham made no mistake. No chance at all for Whalen on that play. And as an airplane takes off over the field here at UPI turf, Newfoundland has scored in added time and are on their way to a bronze medal unless PEI can mount something. Well, they're going to get a set piece now as well. Goal set up as Grant got taken down and delivered the set piece into the 18-yard box, put home by Grenham. Everybody forward here for PEI. Alex Voss telling everybody to get in there, trying to settle the ball down. This would surely do it. Whistle will no doubt blow. That gets caught up in the air. Over on the far side, McAdam gives chase. A throw in for Newfoundland Labrador. Referee looks at his watch. That will do it. Newfoundland Labrador, on a goal by Grenham in added time of the second half, will win a bronze medal. The Newfoundland Labrador flag waving proudly here. They don't get the gold. The champs from the U13 in Corner Brook. Heartbreaking day for both teams yesterday. But they will go back to Newfoundland Labrador with the medal. The bronze. A great third versus fourth place game. Lots more still to come. Championship Sunday awaits. Coming up at noon with Nova Scotia versus Newfoundland Labrador. Handshakes at midfield. Don't go anywhere. As medal ceremonies coming up. We'll have the camera on the ceremonies. Grenham in added time. Off the set piece from Jacob Grant. As mentioned, it just sat on a tee in the box. Really nothing that Whalen could do. So ceremonies coming up. Stick around, the handing out of the medals. Newfoundland, Labrador, and Nova Scotia about to take the field. We're getting ready for Championship Sunday. At the 2014 U14 Boys and Girls Championships here from Charlottetown, PEI, on the campus of the University of Prince Edward Island. On Bell Alliant, Community One, your leader in local sports broadcasting. Ceremony's coming up, and we'll talk to you soon here. Get you ready for your 12 o'clock championship game between Nova Scotia and Newfoundland Labrador. Goodbye to everybody who reached out to us, the fans and parents of these two teams. Hopefully we'll see you next year at the U15. But for now, goodbye from Charlottetown.